Filtration Systems presents How to Choose Commercial HVAC Filters. In today's HVAC filter marketplace, everything kind of looks the same. And we all say the same things. Our filter has the lowest pressure drop, the longest life. Ours utilizes the newest technology. Ours have no bypass. And of course, the big kahuna, we're the most energy efficient. But with all of the filters looking the same and all of us saying the same thing about our filters, how do you really tell them apart? Well, we've got ASHRAE 522 and the MERV testing procedure. Clearly documented, lab-tested way to be able to compare filters side by side, right? Not so much. There's a few major areas, and the most important things you look for, it unfortunately does not address very well. The first is dust holding. ASHRAE dust holding tests are largely useless in a real-world setting. There's no real way of saying what a MERV actually catches. They have fractional efficiency charts, but unfortunately those don't really show you what those catch compared to what's in ambient air. And the last thing it does very poorly is addresses synthetic coarse fiber media efficiency loss, which is becoming more and more common now as synthetic coarse fiber medias are a lot lower in cost to produce. So why can't a dust holding report be trusted? Well, it has to do with the size of the particles in outdoor ambient air versus what is used in the ASHRAE test procedure. As you can see here, the ambient air is over 100 times smaller than the ASHRAE dust. So loading characteristics of a filter is going to be significantly different in the real world versus in the lab with ASHRAE dust. So how do we get to this selection of this test aerosol of this ASHRAE dust? And right on 52.2 it says outdoor ambient air would have been preferred, but because the test goes up to 10 microns, we couldn't use it. Because once you get to 3 microns, ambient air doesn't really have any of that in it. So right away with MERV, it's acknowledged that the procedure tests for particles that are not found in ambient air. These are the efficiency curves, fractional efficiency curves that I'm sure you've seen before, and it looks like there's a significant difference as you work your way up and get more and more efficient, in particular between 8 and 11. 11 is very common, 13 the next most common filter out there. But when we put that information, that same fractional efficiency curve, and pair it with what contaminants and what particles are actually in ambient air, we see that MERV 11, shown in green here, actually removes very little and is of minimal value, better than MERV 8. We actually don't really get to protecting building occupants until we get to MERV 13, where a significant portion of the particles in outdoor air are removed. You could not tell that by looking at a fractional efficiency chart. And the last thing that we don't do very well with 52.2 is discuss this fine fiber versus synthetic. According to 52.2, the two pictures, the two medias before you will test the same. But we know in the real world that's not the case. Synthetic media filters often start very efficient, so they get that great initial MERV rating. But then as they load, we actually see their efficiency goes down. Here we see in just 3 months a very significant drop-off in filter efficiency. So how do you really choose? Well, you have to test at your location, possibly even in your own air handlers if we're able to do it. We can help you with this, by the way. What you need to look for is you need to measure initial and periodically the static pressure, which will be an indication of energy use. Structural condition, obviously you don't want filters failing structurally. And then particle counts to make sure that the efficiency or the MERV that you're paying for is what you're getting. Again, with synthetic medias being cheaper to produce, we see more of those filters, so you'll pay for a MERV 13 and you'll wind up with a 7 or 8. If you'd like to set up your own in-situ test and want our help, give us a call at 1-800-279-3012 or visit our website www.energysmartfilters.com. Click on the Audits tab on the top navigation bar. Thank you for listening.